And this is Nat. Welcome to the KatnNat podcast, where we talk to people from the unified generation and promote the inclusion revolution. Today, we're to Melanie Kramer and Rich Labudia SIRSY.
SIRSY is a multi-instrumental band hailing from upstate New York, known as the Little Band with a Big Sound.
We're super excited that they are on our show today because we're going to talk about a song that is being played in schools as part of an anti-bullying campaign that teachers are building in their classrooms.
According to Special Olympics, bullying is a problem that transcends geographic, racial, ethnic, and economic borders, and is an issue closely connected to their movement of acceptance and inclusion.
In particular, students with disabilities are 2 to 3 times more likely to be bullied than their peers without disabilities. Here's a clip from the song Stand on their new album, Like a Drum.
Oh, and I know you're stronger than you think you are. I know you're stronger than you think you are. I know you're stronger than you think you are right now. And I will stand. I will stand up for you till you can stand up too.
We're so excited that you're here.
Yes.
We're so excited to be here.
I've heard so much about you guys from Dot and Greg in the Beans. And I love your music.
Party later.
Yeah.
Yes. She was listening to your guys' music on the way here.
Oh, it's so good. My favorite is Cannonball. It reminds me of pirates.
Thank you.
And I must say, you have an amazing voice.
Very nice. Thank you.
Do you want to do our first question?
Oh, do I have some now?
Oh, yeah.
Rolling?
Okay, Mel and Rich. Your first question is, what is the reason that you decided to write this song? Part of the lyrics are, I will stand up for you till you can stand up too. Can you tell us what this was about?
Yes. So Stan started out as an anti-bullying song. It started out with that message on purpose. A friend of mine, her daughter was being bullied in school, and I was bullied in school, and Rich was bullied in school. So, I mean, we know what that's like. Now you guys have to deal with the added element of cyberbullying, so it's even more complicated. But I just, I was inspired to write that song because I hate that bullying can make someone feel small, and no one should ever feel small. So, and I started writing the lyrics to it, and then I was diagnosed with cancer, and Rich and I put songwriting on hold. And when we went back to writing the songs, I realized that the songs also resonated with that subject matter because cancer is a bully as well. And so, I don't know, the song just kind of took on even more meaning then, because people were there for me and for Rich when we needed support. And I just wanted to pass that message on because it's so important to stand up for people. And if you see someone bullying someone and you know it's wrong, you should stand up for them. It's important.
That is a great answer.
It is. Bullying is such, an underrated problem in our society. It's so important to, bring focus to that.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard too when kids with disabilities also get bullied the most in schools. So
I can't even imagine.
yeah.
And now, with modern technology, there's all new creative ways people can bully you.
And
It sounds really tough out there, guys.
And with more, I'm going to butcher this, and I'm not even going to try, anonymity with the internet. It makes it even harder.
People feel like they can say and do whatever they want on the internet. And I mean, this isn't the same thing, but I mean, I got a lot of really nice letters when I had cancer, but I also got some letters that I don't think anyone would have had the guts to say to me in person. Like people were telling me, that it was my fault that I had cancer because I was a vegetarian, and so I was eating soy, or that I shouldn't eat dairy because that's why I had cancer, or that I didn't pray enough, and things like that. And I mean, you're right. The anonymity is so cute. Like, people feel like they can say whatever they want on the internet, and I don't think they would say the same thing to your face necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, that leads to our next question. When you heard the story about the song being used in an anti-bullying campaign at school, you must have been really excited. Can you tell us where that happened and what it was like?
Yes. There's a teacher who's become a friend of ours. Her name is Jessica Harrington, and she teaches 5th grade. And she teaches in Vernon Verona School, and it's out near Utica, New York area. Rich and I actually did a band camp at her school where we worked with the kids.
Which was really cool. It was, I don't know, like 100 kids just working on a couple of songs together. It was frightening a little bit because there was they were all very, very, very fun, and there were a lot of very talented musicians in the school.
Yeah, and back then we hadn't written the song "Stand" yet, but the kids really loved our song "Brave and Kind," and so we had worked on that with the kids, and so they already knew kind of about SIRSY, and so she played our song "Stand" for the class because she's just an amazing teacher, and she was doing an anti-bullying campaign in her school and trying to, bring awareness to that and encourage kids to speak up if they saw it happening and to support each other and, to kind of almost like a neighborhood watch with the kids, So she played our song "Stand" for the kids, and they talked about what it meant to them and how it related to that topic. And she told me about it, and it was just really amazing. And so I was inspired to share that story, and a couple other teachers in that area started doing that, and it started kind of spreading. And I started telling the story more and more on stage. And we have a teacher who's a special ed teacher in Virginia. She's out near Lynchburg, Virginia area, and working on a video with the kids that she works with out there. I don't know. She might be it's tough to get permission from all the parents, so I'm not sure, how that's going. I know she's working on it, and there were teachers in Colorado and California and Utah and other great spots around the country when I tell the story who come up to me and say, or guidance counselors too, who come up to me and say, I need that song, I'm going to start playing that for my kids in schools. So it's really special for us.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question for you guys is, so you just finished up your tour that went all the way across the United States, and you have been telling this story at the shows as you toured across the United States. What's it like to now have schoolrooms playing "Stand" for all students?
I mean, it's really cool. I mean, Melanie brings joy everywhere she goes. I think people respond to,
He's married to me. He has to say that.
People respond when, she tells the stories behind the song. So it's cool that in different states around the country that people latch onto that. Even people that have never seen this before. I don't know, it's a very cool experience.
It's very special to us to not just play songs, but to also connect with people through that music.
Yeah.
Rich and I aren't in it for the fame and the fortune, or we would have quit a long time ago. It's really about connecting with other people through music, and the fact that we get to do that is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you.
You go.
No, you.
It's your birthday.
Birthday girl first.
I was just saying, it was amazing. Like, Katie sings and does theater.
Okay, that was awesome.
So she really loves
The song "Brave and Kind" and the story behind that is so inspiring. I love it. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Let's see. What we got the banter going on here. What are some personal challenges that you have faced? We've touched on that a bit. You write about some of those in your songs, right?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, Katie, you mentioned Brave and Kind. So, I mean, that's, for me, one of the biggest personal challenges I've ever had to face is fighting cancer twice. And I'm a lucky person because I was able to survive it twice. So I'm very lucky. And my story is one of hope. There are a lot of people out there who fought really hard and didn't win the fight. So I try to remember every day that I'm lucky, and I'm grateful for my life. And when we wrote that song, Brave and Kind, it was the first time that I was diagnosed. And, one of the things that we learned is that no one knows, people who love you don't know how to act. They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So, there's two parts to the fight. You have to try to be brave, obviously. You have to face every day. And when you guys know this, you have to try to face every day, despite your obstacles, with a brave face and with a positive attitude, which you both obviously do. And it's hard to do that. I mean, and that's bravery, right? That's courage. But the other thing you have to try to do is you have to try to be kind, because sometimes people are going to say the wrong thing, or they might do the wrong thing, and they don't necessarily mean to. They just don't know. They're lost, and you have to look past sometimes their actions or their words and into their heart and try to see what they really meant, and that's the kind part of the brave and kind. So that's I think that's an answer to the question.
That's great.
You have an amazing story, Mel, and you will tell it, and you will be strong, and you just keep being you.
I want to do.
Yeah. So, musical holds a lot of power. It shapes how we feel. It can tell a story, and it can be a voice for us. Music can tell us, can make us dance, it can make an anthem, and then it can remind us who we are or what we can be. Can you tell us what diversity means to you? Do you see diversity at the shows that you play?
Yeah. I would say we see diversity at the shows.
We do. I mean, music shouldn't know boundaries or color or race or any of that. I think,
or age.
Yeah, it can touch. It can touch people. From any walk of life, and it's cool. A lot of our shows, we do often have very big age range, like from 4 to 90.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
Sunday, we played an all ages show, and there were people from 4 to 90 out on the dance floor, dancing and singing along. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think music's a very unifying thing. Like, we saw in Abu Dhabi with Cultural Night. Yeah, and it's just one of those things that I think it can be a melting pot for people of all ages and people of all race. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. And all points of view, because sometimes everyone can be fighting and disagreeing on things, but we can all find joy in a song and be together in a moment, a song.
And having the anthem behind it too. There's this song we at USA Games that Alan Stone wrote called Warriors.
Oh yeah.
And I have it as my alarm every morning, which can be a little annoying, but it's fine. But it's one of those things where it's music can get you out of bed and get you to do good things in the world and empower you. And I think that's what your guys' music does.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Should we do our last one?
Yes.
All right. What does inclusion mean to you, and why is inclusion important?
I mean, I think inclusion is important because everybody has something to offer, and everyone has something to say. And if we don't try to hear, if we're not open and we don't listen to all those points of view, you're not going to get the best possible point of view from it. Everybody, you can learn something from everyone.
Absolutely.
I mean, again, Sunday, we had a family that came up to see us from Long Island. They're friends of ours. And their 2 kids are autistic, and their son Brian is an amazing musician. And he came to one of our band camps actually, and he jumped up on stage with us and played a song on the drums with us, "Lot of Love."
Aw.
And he's fantastic. And it's tough for him because, like his dad says, he tries to get him included in music and stuff, and he wants him to just be in the band and not the autistic kid in the band. Yeah. And it's hard for him, because that's how people see him.
Yeah.
But if you strip all that away, he's a fantastic drummer. Yeah. Period. And so it's important to try to encourage that, because he has something to say on the drums, and he should be heard just as much as any drummer.
Yeah.
He played Melanie's drum part. Like when he's played on a few songs with us, he plays it identical the way that Melanie played it on the record.
He does.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And he can do that with, like, I'm talking not just SIRSY drum parts. I'm talking like Led Zeppelin. I mean, he can do it with
That's amazing.
And he can write his own. He's a great drummer. Yeah. He who also happens to be autistic. So that's a way that inclusion is important, I think. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
You.
Question?
No.
I think we should do one more thing before we end today. I think we should all sing a song.
Yay! Let's do it.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Natalie. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you, guys.
I will give you a hug for them. Transfer of hugs.
Yeah, we're doing a selfie. Can we? No, get closer.
You gotta be. Yeah, there you go.
All right, now on our side.
And now we can plug your podcast.
All right, now we're doing it on the other side. Ready?
Okay, good. Ready?
Oh, if I can get the screen. Yeah!
We got it.
Yeah, I like your Darth Vader on the wall behind you there.
Oh yes, Rich actually one of my parents at school. Her husband is an artist, and I did an art lesson with him, and it was on May the 4th. And I got to have his Darth Vader.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So Darth Vader has been there ever since.
Yes.
Will has done it.
He resides on the wall of art.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are so inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Katie, it was nice to meet you.
so
And
nice
Natalie,
to
it
meet
was
you.
great.
Bye.
Thank you, Mel and Rich of SIRSY, for being on our podcast.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KatnNat Podcast. Also, follow our private accounts at Katie M. Hutt and Nat Squeaks. We out.